Hi, welcome to your mat. Today's practice will be a short but profound practice to help you stay grounded during Vata season. Vata is a term from Ayurveda that means that which moves. And Vata is the ruler of the energy that rules the energies of late autumn and early winter. And in these seasons, if we don't take some time for ourselves to stay grounded, we can become a little bit spacey sometimes a little bit anxious, because what happens is Vata is a very light energy that tends to move upward, as light things sometimes do. And when the energies in our body move upward too much or too quickly, we can sort of feel ungrounded. But thankfully, Ayurveda has a sister science called yoga, which is why we're all here today, which can give us lots and lots of techniques to stay grounded. And one of them, as you can see today, I'm out in my beautiful backyard in nature. One of them is just simply to stay connected to nature, literally connected. Maybe it's warm enough still wherever you live, you can put your bare feet on the ground. I'm out here in the morning, and it's one of the best times to ground when the grass is dewy from the night before. It helps to conduct the energy upward. Another thing we can do is, whether we're indoors or out, we can massage the kidney 1 point, or the wellspring of life point, right here where the ball of the big toe ball mound meets the other mound. There's a little indentation, and you can make circles with your finger or just press in and hold there for a moment. And this is a very relaxing and grounding point. It's called the wellspring of life. As I'm talking, just go ahead and massage whichever foot you can take hold of first. As I'm giving this little introduction, our feet obviously make connection with the earth all day long. If we can walk barefooted or in natural soled shoes that aren't rubber soled, that aren't as insulating, Mother Earth has a way of exchanging ions with the body that literally grounds us. So it's really great to take time to ground ourselves. If you can't get outside, you could just rub a conductive object like a spoon on the bottom of your foot, or just have the intention to ground as you massage your feet. And go ahead and massage up the legs and make a circle around your knee, and then shake that foot out and put it back down, and we'll do the other side. So I'm going to be talking about several ways to ground today that are always available to you. We can't always go barefoot. We can't always take our shoes off and massage our feet. But we always have the breath. We always have the breath. So as we're working here with the feet, go ahead and massage up the foot and the ankle. Go ahead and massage up the leg and around the knee. Shake that foot up and put it back down on the ground. Let's start by connecting to the breath and working with the diaphragm. So sometimes when we're anxious, our breath can travel up too high in our body. And again, that's the energy traveling up too high. And we breathe in our chests, which can be very depleting, because we're having to rely on muscles and organs that really aren't designed to breathe except in emergency situations. So our body thinks we're in a state of emergency when we breathe up into the chest. So what we want to do is breathe down lower in the body. And sometimes this is described as belly breathing. But then again, if we're using our lower abdominal muscles to push or pull the air in and out, that can also be tiresome and depleting. So what we want to do is breathe the natural way, which is with the diaphragm, which is this large flat muscle that domes up against the lower chambers of the heart and the lungs as we exhale, and then flattens and descends down low into the belly as we inhale. So just connect with that diaphragm, that respiratory diaphragm, as I continue to talk here. And just be completely present with your diaphragm as you inhale and as you exhale. This is a very grounding breath because, for one thing, as you can see, it's a downward movement that happens over and over and over again. So basically, every time we take a full breath, we are grounding ourselves. It's a very nourishing breath because, as I say, we're using the main muscle of breathing, which is the diaphragm. That's its job description, to draw air in. It's also a great way to nourish the body because we're getting lots of oxygen with very little effort. Not a lot of effort here, when the diaphragm is strong especially. I talk a lot about this diaphragmatic breathing when I teach because it had a profound effect on me. I was struggling a lot with anxiety in my life. And when I went to the Himalayan Institute for my yoga teacher training, this was a core practice. We did this every day, and we did it with weight, right? A heavy sandbag right here, tucked up under the low ribs. And so we were actually weight training our diaphragms, making it very, very strong, really connecting to it, bringing our awareness there. And then I found whenever I was in a stressful situation, that breath was available to me to ground me. My muscles were strong. My habits were formed after a month of doing this every day. Try it for 21 days. Just either sit as we're sitting here or lie down and connect with this diaphragmatic breathing. And you'll find this to be very grounding. As you're breathing this way, also, as you're breathing slowly, deeply, and evenly, notice if there's any speed bumps, any jerks or pauses in the breath, and see if you can smooth them out. As you smooth them out, that's also very nourishing to the nervous system. And just become entrained to the rhythm of your own breath. So we've talked about getting our bodies on the earth. And even if you can't get outside, connecting with the earth element by sitting or lying on the ground, on the floor. This is very much a part of every yoga practice, but when we do it with intention to connect with Mother Earth, it has even more impact, positive impact. We've talked about the breath. Another way we can ground ourselves is by strengthening the muscles around our spine, which is our grounding rod that runs, as we're sitting here on the ground, it runs from the ground, up to the top of to our cranium. And so it's a great way, if you think about it, we can let go of anything we no longer need down through our spine as we exhale. And then as we inhale, we can draw up nourishment from Mother Earth. A truck is going by, it's part of the practice. Anything that arises is part of the practice today and every day. The practice of living with equanimity, living with appreciation for whatever arises. So as you continue with this diaphragmatic breath, we're going to now strengthen our grounding rod, our central channel, our spine, by coming in first into all fours, into table pose or tabletop pose, finding a neutral spine, and then stretching the right leg back behind, stretching out through the back of that leg, through the sole of that foot, And just, I might take a peek at you or to the you that I know is out there every once in a while, but keep your gaze down on the floor and keep your spine nice and strong. So I don't want you to try to overarch your back here or overflex your back here, but keep it nice and strong and steady. And then engage through your low abdomen as if you're going to lift that right leg up and draw in the pelvic floor. And as you inhale next time, or whenever you're ready, you can go ahead and lift that right leg up off the ground as high as it comes without a big dip in your spine or your arms. And you can just stay right here, or if you'd like to add on, you can also lift the left arm. And now we're in bird dog pose, like a bird dog pointing at something amazing. And then as you exhale, if you'd like to add a crunch to strengthen the core, you can exhale and draw the right knee and the left elbow in toward each other. And then as you inhale with that deep diaphragmatic breath, extend those limbs out long again. We'll do this 3 more times. Exhale to draw in, drawing in that low belly. Inhale to extend those limbs away from each other. 2 more times. Exhale to draw in. Inhale to extend. 1 more time. Exhale to draw in. Inhale to extend. And exhale to lower the left hand and the right knee down. And just take a moment to look back at your right hip. So you're bringing your right ear and your right hip toward each other, making a C shape with your spine, with your torso. And this is actually another grounding posture. So as you inhale, come back to center. And as you exhale, make a backward C by bringing your left ear towards your left hip. So we're stretching out the vagus nerve that runs from the base of the cranium down through back behind the ears and down the neck. We're just giving it a gentle stretch. And as we begin to activate the vagus nerve, it helps us downregulate our central nervous system, our the parasympathetic nervous system. So we move out of fight or flight and into a state of tend and befriend, they call it, where we begin to see everything with unconditional friendliness, which is the goal of yoga, which is about union. And now we'll do the other side. So as you inhale, stretch that left leg back and stretch the back of the left leg. Enjoy that stretch as you can, and enjoy the grounding of the ball of the left foot and those toes on the floor. Draw in below the navel, so you're cinching in between the 2 hip points as if you're drawing those 2 hip points together, and in the way you are. And lift the pelvic floor in and up. And then when you're ready, inhale to lift the left leg and the right arm. And breathe here. And we'll do 5 repetitions on this side of the crunch. Or I believe we did 4 on the other side. We'll do 4 repetitions of the crunch if you'd like. You can just stay here, or you can come back down into all fours and rejoin us whenever you want to. But if you want to add on the crunch, we'll do 4 crunches. So as you exhale, bring the right elbow toward the left knee. And as you inhale, draw those limbs long apart. Get really, really big and expand. And then get small as you exhale, bringing the left knee and the right elbow in toward each other. And inhale to get nice and long. Take up lots of space in that dimension. 2 more times. Exhale to draw in. Inhale to expand out. And last time, exhale, draw in. And inhale, expand out. And this time, as you exhale, lower the right hand and the left knee. And then take a few cat-cows. So as you inhale, drop the spine, lift the head. And as you exhale, arch the spine up like a Halloween cat. Look back at your navel. And take a few more of these. If you want to add on any organic movements to cat-cow, this is a beautiful way to keep the spine supple that most of us know and do regularly. So if you like adding on any kind of other movements like side bending or whatever to your cat-cow to really get into any areas that are stuck, go ahead and do that. And so as we continue to take these organic cat-cow movements, I'll say that we have now done some work strengthening the core, strengthening the muscles, the multifidus muscles that run on either side parallel to the spine. And this also helps to ground us. It reminds us that we are made of earth. Not only are we connected to Mother Earth, but we are earth. We are earth. And just continue to move on your own as I turn to look at you and say that the crystals, the rock that forms our spine, we have a rock at our center. That is our core strength. And these core muscles as well provide us strength to overcome any situation. So no matter what we're going through, we always have this core strength to come back to as an anchor. All these awarenesses, all these intelligences, all these parts of our body that we're talking about today, they are anchors in the sea of life so that we don't get tossed around. We have these anchors to keep us grounded, to keep us safe. When we touch into these touch points in our body, our breath, we know we can breathe through anything. We can breathe through anything. Nothing has to phase us. In my yoga teacher training, we learned the expression, besides focusing on this diaphragmatic breathing, which has profound impacts, we talked about becoming still as a log. When we feel overwhelmed, instead of reacting, instead of going to our habitual reactions, to just sit still as a log. And as we're sitting still as a log, what you'll find is then you can connect more easily with your breath. You breathe as you sit still as a log in this diaphragmatic way. And then your nervous system can supplely move into the tend and befriend state so that you can respond intelligently and in a well-adapted way to whatever stimulus is in your environment, rather than reacting in a knee-jerk way, in an unconscious, habitual way, which can lead to more problems. It can. So we want to be the masters of our lives, not the victims of our lives. And we can't control what happens in the outside world, but we can learn to master our inner states. So whenever you feel overwhelmed, you can be still as a log. Now, we've talked about grounding. We've talked about introduced a key acupressure point. We've talked about strengthening the core, the belly muscles, and the spine. And we'll work in training the breath to movement now. So when we are ready to move, we can continue to move with that breath, with that steady, even breath. So when we're ready to take action, the breath comes with us to keep us grounded and anchored. So this is a simple knees down version of a sun salutation. Very, very simple preliminary movements. Just follow along with me. You can join in whenever you're ready or just follow my cues. So we'll start in child's pose. And you can either keep your knees spread apart if that works better for you, or keep them more together. But be sure that you place your forehead on the floor. And this is a 6-chain posture, they call it, but it really is you're putting your legs, your knees, the tops of your feet, your hands, and your forehead onto the floor. So it's a very grounding posture. And your soft belly side is protected and against Mother Earth for nurturing. So on your next inhale, whenever it comes, let that inhale lift you up to standing on your knees. If your knees are spread apart, you can bring them right underneath your hip points. You don't see my head here, but I'm lifting my arms up alongside my ears. And now your next exhale, whenever it comes, let it take you into a twist to the right and bring your arms out wide. I'm going to actually step back into my flower so you can see more what I'm doing here. As you inhale next, come back to center. Lift the arms up alongside your ears. And on your next exhale, twist to the left, opening up your arms wide in a T shape. Inhale, come back up to center. And then exhale to sweep the arms out wide, making yourself very, 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 very wide, taking up the entire aura and bringing the forehead down onto the mat or the ground. I don't know if it necessarily takes up your entire aura, but we're sweeping through the aura and clearing anything that we no longer need out in this wide-armed movement. And now on your next inhale, we'll repeat that. So inhale to come up to kneeling, sweeping the arms up alongside the ears. Exhale to open up and twist to the right, being nice and expanded. Inhaling, coming back to center. And exhaling, twisting to the left. And again, enjoying that expanded feeling, that bigness. Inhaling, coming up to this more vertical posture with the arms up. Make your hands nice and strong. Fingertips point up. And then as you exhale, come back down into this child's pose with the head on the floor, the forehead on the floor. Make sure that that area right above the bridge of your nose is on the floor. We'll do this 2 more times. Inhale, come up to standing on the knees, sweep the arms up. Exhale, open up to the right and twist to the right. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, twisting left, opening up, being nice and expanded here. Breathing deeply. Inhale, come back up to vertical. Fingertips reach toward the sky. Exhale, sweep out and down, coming back into child's pose. Let's do this one more time. And listen up, I'm going to change it just a little bit. Inhale, come up to standing on the knees, and this time, exhale, open up to the left, twist left. Aha, we don't want to get too stuck in our ways. Inhale, vertical. Exhale, twist right, opening up to the right. Inhale, coming back to center. And exhale, sweeping out and down. Coming into child's pose in this very grounded version of a sun salutation. And just breathe here, noticing any difference from when you started. Yoga doesn't have to be hard. Yoga can be Yoga just means integration. It means union. So anything that helps us feel like our soul is more grounded in our body, and our body and mind are more grounded with the earth. We're more integrated with nature and more integrated within ourselves. That's yoga. And before we act, we always want to get grounded. That way we act as our best selves. Inhale, come back up. And exhale. I'm going to come back onto my mat. And we'll do a little more core work because you really can't get too much core work. You probably could. We're going to do some, I should call them transverse abdominis toe taps or TVA toe taps. Let me shift my camera just a little bit. You might want to close your eyes if you get dizzy easily so you can see